Boom, we're back, episode 68. What's going on, guys? We got a special guest today. I'll be your captain of this little cruise of Pirates of the Caribbean.
You can't say that every single episode.
I will. Pirates of the Caribbean. And we got SP behind the turntables again. And today we got Andrea Sixtos in the house. Let's get you so people can hear you. Bang.
Okay, how you doing?
Episode 60, motherfucking 8. What's up, Dre? How you doing?
I'm great.
we were talking about Botox right before we rolled.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. SB's sporting a new forehead.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it, but it feels like I had a stroke. So it feels really crazy.
It looks good, though.
But I figured it'll go away.
It will. That's what I hear. That it'll
like,
go away.
Why not try it? I'm all about adventures.
My crow's feet is looking a little fucked up. I'm thinking about it.
No, that's weird, though. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how it would be for, like, when I think about, like, this area and this area, that seems weird. Because then you can't.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like my crow's feet are from, like, smoking cigarettes for so many years. And then stopping. Like, you get wrinkles in the face.
Let me see.
Yeah.
See?
No, you
Open
don't
your
smile
eyes.
like that. You don't smile like this.
I know.
Like this.
No,
See?
you don't.
You don't smile like that.
You don't see them?
No, well,
That's not how you smile.
But smile regularly. That's just age.
That's normal?
That's your regular.
30 as fuck.
Like,
I just
feel
turned
like
30.
I
No, you don't have them a lot, though.
No.
I use creams.
You got that good oil of Olay or whatever it is. What's up, Dre? You've been out of town. You just got back in town, right? You were like
I've been in and out of town. Yeah.
Vancouver in Canada. Nala, stop drinking water.
But she's thirsty.
During the episode. She waits until the episode's going. That's cool. It's exciting. You can't really talk about it yet, right? Can't talk about anything.
Can't talk about it.
It's fucking dope.
Man, it's really cool.
It's super dope. Well,
I wish I could say.
I remember when I
but
found out. I sent you. I think I called you or I texted you. I think I called you.
You called me,
Yeah.
and it was so sweet.
I was super stoked. I was so happy. I just love when fucking people that should be winning win. You know what I mean? Like there's so many times where like what the fuck? Why does that part go to this person or that part go to that? Like when it makes sense, I'm like, fuck yeah! Like that's what I'm talking. Like that's what we all want. So I was just stoked.
Yeah, it's definitely a big win for me. It's the biggest
It's
win
huge.
so far.
Yeah. But what do you think? Like anything's changed in your mentality recently, or because I felt like you were so sure going into this one.
I was.
You know.
Yeah, it was just like this calm, just
like you knew
confidence. It was just like I just had this feeling that it was mine. I just had this feeling, and
Well,
it
your
just
feeling was right.
happened.
Yeah.
It was like all these other auditions. I get nervous, or
Mhm.
like I'll go in and I'll be prepared, but it just won't feel right.
Yeah.
Like the words don't come out.
Yeah.
Like
For
clearly,
whatever reason.
for any reason, for whatever. But then those roles that you get the sides you start working on, you're just like,
Ooh,
oh,
I
okay,
get this,
I understand what she's saying here, or what's going on with her life, and then and it just all comes together, and just like the things that you book, you just like, oh, I knew it was mine from the first audition.
How many you've been acting since you were a little kid, right? You were a little girl.
Yeah.
It's the whole family. How old were you? Like, do you think if you had to put an age to it?
Oh well, we moved here in 2003. I was 13 when I moved.
But you guys were doing it out in San Francisco. You guys in the Bay.
We never acted in San Francisco. We modeled though.
Mm.
Yeah, we did some print modeling
And
for like Sears and Macy's.
That's pretty tight.
And Mervyn's when there was a Mervyn's.
Wow.
But if you're a kid and you're making money,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
dope.
Oh yeah. It actually paid for my Italy trip in high school. Like,
And that's before like a Coogan account, right?
Was it?
Because now
13, and then. Well, you have the Coogan. I don't know. My mom handled all that.
Yeah,
don't even
I
know.
think now you can't get it until you're 18.
you
You can get a part of it, but you can't get the full thing.
I think your parents can get they can charge like a
Right,
manager
yeah.
fee or something because they gotta drive you and shit, you know.
But they
Right.
they came up with that because of Macaulay Culkin.
Damn, really?
I'm pretty sure that's
Still.
when it came.
Have you seen him?
No.
He's like he just did like a
Have
3
you?
hour. Yeah, he just did like a 3 hour interview with Joe Rogan on his podcast, and he's like he's pretty normal, I think. He looks.
I know nothing about him.
Other than Home Alone. Yeah, I fucking loved those movies growing up. They were so dope.
Oh, they were.
It's crazy though because you've kind of grown up in a house where all you guys are like super into artsy shit. Like, I mean, that's a bad way to put it, but you guys are super artsy. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think inspired? From your parents or?
I mean, my dad was always working. He was always gone. I mean, he was around a little, but my mom, she would do some artsy things. She would do stained glass, and she was artsy in general.
But still, all three of you?
But my sister, Cassandra, was the one who liked doing the fun acting. Like, she would get with her friends and would put together commercials and, like, music videos and
she
stuff.
stopped doing it, right?
And she stopped doing it. So she was the original one who wanted to act. And then when we moved here, she was just like,
Yeah. Like, I'm over
I don't really want to do it anymore.
LA's nice, though.
Yeah.
Do you miss the Bay?
I do. I visit often, though.
But still, I think it's kind of crazy because all, like, you, Vero, and Alicia, it's like, it's kind of crazy. You guys are all in this little path and you guys have your own little things that you guys do. But it's like, you guys look like different versions of each other. It's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you have curly hair and then, Vero's like, I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah. We have similar, we grew up in the same house. We're kind of similar, but we have our unique,
super
like, differences.
Super
for sure.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny though.
I have no sisters, so I can't imagine having. You have 4?
There's 4 of us.
There's 4 of you.
Yeah.
I just have a brother.
Super estrogen filled home.
Totally.
Yeah, but I mean,
it was the best because we all got along for the most part when we were kids. Especially now, we are all best friends.
Y'all are all super close now.
We're really close now. Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Like, I used to fucking hate my siblings growing up. I was a black sheep.
Really?
Did you guys fight at all?
Sometimes. I always like to just not have any confrontation at all, so I would just kind of stay out of it and let them hash it out.
I see that still to this day. When shit's going down, you'll see like Dre like drift off into the shadows.
Oh, bad energy.
Which is good. Like, it's so important to have that, like, especially in this fucking industry. Like, I'm getting better at it every single day, like noticing like energies. Like, that shit is so draining and taxing on you to be around people that are maybe like, even as entertainers or actors, people who are just like, oh, fuck this and fuck that, and I just hate this part, and I don't ever book it. I'm just like, dude, you're sucking the life out of me.
Totally.
Like, I can't.
But sometimes Rick gets on a soapbox. Like, I had an audition the other day, and I was like, fuck that, whatever. And he was like, he just, like, sent me the longest text ever about, like, you need to do this, and this is what you need to do. And I was like, don't tell me what to do, okay? Let me just vent and let you know I didn't. It was not a good day.
She said, why don't you just shut up and listen?
It is what it is.
Yeah, she's like,
I was like, you're getting on my nerves right now. You're really getting on my fucking nerves.
But that's usually what it is anyway.
No.
Yeah. I you're right. Because there are moments where you do, like, I don't know, it's hard, like, to be, an artist or whatever in any facet, like, and not need that, like, verbal validation. Like, on a certain level, it still affects you when you're not fucking booking or you're not doing a thing. You're like, damn, man, like, what the fuck? You start to question yourself, like, what's going on? And it's not about you. You know? There's so many moving components. You know what I mean? Like, this producer or this person or that person or this or whatever. What kind of helps you, like, keep your head focused? You know what I mean?
As long as I'm doing something. Like, I can't just, like, not be in class or, like, I have to be actively working on my craft. And even if I'm not booking, at least I'm doing that. Right. And I'm learning, and I'm confident that I'm, tuning my skills, and eventually I will book. But as long as you're acting every week. Like,
I mean, that's all you can do, really, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what's in your control? Like, how you act, and, I guess, you can control. All you control is this. I don't know. I got a theory where I'm like, I feel like this shit's like the last man standing game. You know what I mean? Like, eventually, in your lane, there's a certain amount of people, because we all have different types of shit, different looks or types or whatever, but there's people who have different types of that too, that are going to be in your lane. And eventually they're all going to be on something else, booking something else. And they're going to be like, all right, you're up. And you're like, oh, it's my turn.
Right.
Fucking finally.
Yeah.
I've been waiting. But it's like you said, you know, keeping yourself every week, like
Balanced.
something.
You have to keep your life balanced.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been tricky. I was telling SB I've been having a rough month because I'm on a social media detox and I'm on a weed
literally
detox.
can't do it.
It's
Really?
I'm not on it.
Like, I was watching an Insta story, and he was like, what is that?
It's
And
I'm
it's like,
fucking
feed
pooping.
me.
For real. And I'm not doing weed, and I've cut out drinking for good.
Oh wow.
Nice.
After my birthday, I was like, you know what? I'm fucking good.
Okay.
Like I just
for a
Did
little
you-
while.
Did you read that article I sent you about alcohol?
No.
It's really fascinating.
What is it about?
It was just like a super like spiritual type of perspective on what alcohol does. But it's exciting though. I think it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time for like anybody, Latinos and
I was telling Rick that I went to a class the other day, and there was
Can you
a
say who?
woman.
say when not.
Okay, I went to the Leslie Kahn class.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Um,
My sister's been going there.
she was awesome.
That's what I hear.
So there was a woman there who is Canadian, tan with brown hair, and she said, I'm always so close. She talked, there were a lot of women that were like, I don't know where I fit in. Like, I don't know what my type is. I don't know. I never see the role for me or whatever. And she was like, I always go in for Latina and I get really close. And then they ask me where my grandparents are from or whatever. And I have to say I'm not. And Leslie Kahn was like, you can't go in for those roles anymore. You have to tell your agents, don't go in for that. And it was upset. It was very upsetting for the girl. And I understood why she was upset. Of course, everybody wants a job, you know?
Yeah.
But it was, and because she's gotten in trouble,
yeah.
she was
You
very,
had the whole-
She had
Yeah.
very
she was
she's
very specific
careful.
about her words. And,
Uh-huh.
you know, people that were in the class were there because they were sent because that thing had happened about what she said.
I'll say it. So Leslie Kahn,
We said this already.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
for people who don't know, like are listening, they're like, "What are they talking about?" She had a student in her class, and this girl was talking about how she wasn't booking, and she's like, "Fucking, we'll change your name to like Rosa Ramirez or something, and put on like a red dress." A very like stereotypical kind of
Sparkly
thing.
earrings.
Yeah,
Because
sparkly.
she
all
looked,
the
'cause she
Latins are
looked
booking
Latina.
all of the roles.
Yeah, and
apparently.
and that shit caught fire, right? Which is fucking crazy. that
But she
said that.
wasn't Latina.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
just add she was Jewish.
So
Right.
she caught heat for that, obviously, because
Yeah.
Latinos have been waiting for, I don't know, fucking 40 years to get their part, you know? And she's like, okay, go take their parts, because there's, you know, and that's the frustrating part too, because like, you know, everybody's like wants to be part of a movement too. But it's like, dude, like everything comes. It's like just because, you
And
know.
that's what she was saying. She was like, right now, you can't do that. And we're trying to open the doors for our fellow actors of color because we want them to be represented well on TV. She had a great response.
Boom.
And then she was...
She's been rehearsing that.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
And
she
she
has.
had somebody next to her, like, right?
Don't say
like,
that,
she
yeah.
was,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh.
like, am I saying, like, the right thing,
Oh
kind
my
of?
gosh.
But it's smart on her behalf. She's taking the right approach.
And I didn't believe that she was just saying it. She doesn't like it felt like she made a huge mistake
Uh-huh.
and she swallowed her, like she just
Yeah.
fucked up. She
Put her
should
foot in her
not have
mouth.
fucking said it. And as an educator, she definitely shouldn't have said it because it's not like I haven't heard that before. Like
Of course.
around from like my friends that are white that are actors. I have friends that are actors that are like, oh, it's so great for you right now because like everybody wants like Latins and like all the people of color. And I'm like, okay, hold up.
I was eating shit for 10
There
years.
are more roles for people
For
of
white
color than there
people
have
than-
ever
yeah,
been.
yeah.
But that does not mean that there are more roles than white people.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's just not a reality. And
Oh, I
there's
got that same thing from another actor in my
Yeah.
class. He was just like, gosh.
It's just that those
all my
roles are booked up.
managers, Latin people, they're all booking, but I'm not booking. And it's just like, what do I do? I'm just like,
Yeah.
you're crying? Are you crying right now?
Yeah.
Stop
That-
it.
that- it's exactly.
Come
And
on.
that's-
Get a new manager.
And that's what they tell Latinos, right? Like, oh, you guys are crying about parts, this and that for so long, and
Yeah.
then it's now, I don't know. I guess everybody wants to be with the movement. We all want a fucking part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody
Yeah.
wants it, but it's like you can't step on other people's toes on the way up
Right.
and be like, well, this fucking person's getting this or that person's getting. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
There's plenty to go around. I think.
Yeah. And that's in the end, she was saying the role will come for you, you know? she was like, you shouldn't be going out for these roles because there are a bunch of other Latina women there. She was like, are they going out for the role? Not, obviously we weren't. And she was like, she was like, I get close every single time I test, and it's always like her and another girl, and she doesn't get it because she's not Latina.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I told her emotionally the backlash would be horrible for you if you booked it. So would you even want to deal with that?
Yeah.
Well, you were talking about this girl on Black Panther. I don't know her name.
Yeah.
And
Children.
yeah, people are knocking.
I know. I'll find her. She got cast in Black Panther.
She got cast in Black Panther and what?
Yeah, and she turned it down because she was a light-skinned black girl, and
That's
she was
her?
like, I'm pretty sure this is her. Hold on, I'm finding out. She was like, it should be a dark-skinned African American actress.
That's ballsy.
And that's
That
huge.
is.
Imagine giving up Black Panther.
Wow.
Yeah, it says she walked away from Black Panther.
Oh man, I bet she was given so much praise for that.
Yeah.
But that's true too. You can take that off.
So then it's like, you know, it's up to you. Like, it's your choice, you know, obviously. That's why I told the girl, I was like, it's your choice.
Yeah.
But also, they should be writing white roles for people that also look like you as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think the people are just misdirecting their frustration and their career in the wrong direction. You know what I mean? Like, people want to be like, oh, well, you're getting all the parts, or you're getting all the parts. It's like, these people aren't the problem. The content is the problem.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's in a weird phase where it's getting fixed right now. I don't know. It's a good time. The people are working,
It
though.
is.
It is.
I think it's never been better, and I'm excited about it.
Me too.
All these opportunities are up, but
Still progress to be made, but we're making progress.
Yeah,
That's for damn
for sure.
which is what makes me happy, especially as women too. Like, women for so long, man, that gap of like 20 to 30, and then like from 30 to like, what is it, like 50 or whatever, or 60 or whatever, was so, like, all those women did not work for fucking decades,
Yeah.
which is terrifying. I imagine as a woman, like, if you're trying to make a career and you're like, okay, what am I gonna do after I'm 30, you know, or 35 or whatever that age is.
Right.
I don't know. It's content's getting better. Content is getting a lot better. Amanda Stenberg walked away from Black Panther.
Yeah.
Very thoughtful. Is she doing well?
I think she's
I'm
well
sure
known.
she
She's
is.
very well known, but I mean, still, like, Black Panther was
Shout out to her.
huge.
She's beautiful.
She is.
Yeah.
What's up, girl? Damn. That's it in a t-shirt. That'd be fucking hard. I don't know if I could do that. Even if,
I know.
is she half white?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm like, Black Panther? I'd be like, what's up? This is a fucking superhero movie.
Oh, she.
I don't know. It's exciting though. Just that people are even want to be on the right side of history.
Yeah.
You know, and it's ballsy as fuck. I don't know if I could do that, but I don't know. We're all waiting for everything.
Well, like, I was thinking about Robert, my boyfriend. He's half Kiwi, half Chinese, but his agent sends him out for cholos all the time because he looks Mexican. And I'm like, damn.
Does he know how to do the cholo well?
No, it's not him.
No,
It's not him at
no.
all. They shouldn't be sending him out, but he's like Lou Diamond Phillips, like, you know, like.
It worked at one point.
Yeah, but like,
Now you got real cholos
I'm
with face
always
tattoos.
like, damn, what if he booked something huge? I don't know what I would tell him, you know? He knows my politics, and he knows my whole family, and, like, how we feel about it. But of course, it's a hard situation.
Right.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. What
It
would you
is.
do, Dre? What would you do?
Well, I've gone out for like
You're a butt.
Afro Latina roles, and I'm not African American
Yeah.
at all.
But you're a little bit of every. You're a lot of things though,
like,
right?
Point something like
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah,
but
everybody.
I was
And-
casting a play, and there was a girl that I knew that was an actress, and I was like, do you want to come in for this? And she was the character was Puerto Rican, and she wrote me an email saying, like, I'm actually not Latina at all, so I won't come in for it. I think somebody Puerto Rican should.
Yeah, and
But, like,
a lot of people have low confidence going into auditions like that if
Right.
they
That
don't
too.
if they're not
Totally.
representing the character truthfully, like
Yeah.
you know. And I don't know, like I went out for something that was half black, half whatever, and she had to say some certain things that I would never say
Yeah.
right.
if I wasn't
Yeah.
African American.
Yeah.
Right.
And I felt really awkward in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I did my work, but I didn't feel like it wasn't mine.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
why am I going out for this?
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's a weird limbo phase I feel like we're in, and we're gonna get over it. But I don't know. Like, what do you do? What do you do? I guess stay creative. That's why I think like the direction and like at least what people are, I think we should take is like start creating our own fucking content now. That it's so accessible to do now. Like you can buy a camera for a few $1,000s. You can you can hire, it's all doable, especially now with all these platforms. But, even Netflix, I was telling her, they bought $1 billion worth of content. So even if you wanted to, if you got a project signed onto Netflix, it wouldn't air until like 2023, 2024. Because they have so much stuff backed up.
Wow.
So I'm like, damn,
That's
Netflix,
crazy.
you're doing a little too much.
Yeah.
But it's good. These opportunities are out there.
Overachievers.
I don't know. Do you feel like this project is different in a sense that like from all the other bookings or other wins that you've taken away, and if so, like what does that do to you as an actress?
It's definitely different than anything I've ever done.
It's fucking tight.
And definitely a new genre that I'm stepping into. And how does it change me as an actress? I have to adjust, basically.
What do you mean? Why?
Adjust to that genre. And I guess it's like, I don't know. It's nothing that I can't do. But,
yeah, obviously.
But it's a I mean, I guess not. I guess it's not different than like my usual acting. It's not like I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
out and
I
do
mean
something.
more of like your mentality, like and how you walk. You like, of course, it boosts your confidence too, right?
Oh, okay.
And
So not as an actress, like me as a person.
yeah, as a person, you know what I mean, like, because they all, I feel like all these parts do something to you. When as far as like for me at least, whenever I book, I'm telling you, like we need that as an artist. Like we need some kind of fucking feedback to be like, am I doing all right here?
Yeah.
'Cause this is kind of a crazy road. Sometimes you stare at the ceiling like, what am I doing?
Some
Jesus?
people need it a little more than others.
This guy. And but it is true. Like like you're 6-7 years on the game. Like, all right, like this is cool, but I want them, and it's never enough.
Well, I just made a decision to be really serious about it. Like for years, I was just kind of like halfway in, halfway out. I was just like routine every day. Oh, I'm an actress, but I still have my other jobs here, and I have security over here, and like I never just like went full on 100%, 120% in the game.
There's power in that.
Yeah. And so I just buckled down and studied my ass off. I started auditioning, my confidence started becoming more strong. And all of a sudden this came to me and I was ready.
Yeah.
And now that I booked it, I was just like, okay, thank you. Like, finally.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I can't say like I needed that at the moment. Like I wasn't at like a breaking point, but I was at a very high energetic level at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And
it wouldn't have made sense if you didn't. Like everything was in the right place.
Yeah, exactly. Everything lined up.
Yeah.
And the universe was just like, you're ready for it. So here you go. And I said, okay, thank you. And I'm walking.
I think a lot of that, I think you just hit the nail on the head. A lot of it is deciding, like, okay, like, this is what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's hard to do that sometimes because it gets scary because, like, deciding to do something, there's also, like, responsibility within that. There's weight with that, like, and I guess it's scary. I just went recently to the Boys and Girls Club. Rico, a buddy of mine, he was on the podcast too, Rico Moreno. He works with Nosotros, Nosotros?
Mm-hmm.
And they had this course for these young kids, and they're all like during the course it's 4 weeks, like every weekend, and they created a film, they shot the film, they acted in the film, they did the whole thing, and then they put it together and they edited it and they put sound behind it and it was tight. And then we sat, and then they brought me in or whatever to talk to these kids, and I'm talking to these kids and I just asked them all like what they wanted to do when they grow up, or like what what their whole thing was, and after they gave me their answer, I'm like, is that it? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, is that scary for you? And they're like, no. I'm like, do you think you can do that? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, cool. It's not enough. And they're all of them were just kind of like, what the fuck? And I'm like, if it's not scary, you're selling yourself short. And there's something to be said about like chasing something that scares the shit out of you and still being like, fuck it, you know, like even if I fall short, I'm gonna get way further than this small goal that I put in front of me.
It's called the fuck it adjustment.
Yeah. Exactly. And these kids, I mean, they were like 13 or 11, and it was like I blew all their fucking minds because this guy's like, you know, I want to do this, and I'm like, and he wanted to go into politics, and I'm like, well, why do you want to go into politics? He's like, oh, because I want to, you know, represent Latinos, this and that. And he's like, I'm like, so you want to change a narrative? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, you don't just change a narrative by becoming a politician. Like, I'm like, there's got to be a message behind you, the reason why people rally up behind you. And these guys like, oh shit, like I haven't really thought about this, you know, because as a kid you just think about shit. Like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to be an actor. It's like, okay, what kind of roles do you want to play? Oh, I don't know, just any role. You know, and it's not scary when you're like, oh, I just want to do that, because there's no commitment in that, and there's no like decision of being like, I'm gonna be serious about this. Like, this is exactly what I want to do. So then I can line up the steps, like you said, right? Okay, I'm gonna be ready for this. I'm gonna dedicate this. I'm gonna do this, and it's scary, but I don't know. I guess it pays off always.
I wanted to sell loteria cards.
Loteria cards?
Yeah,
it's like the
Mexican bingo.
Oh.
I don't know why. And I wanted to be a cashier. Because I just wanted to do the beep. Now you can do it. So my dreams have come true.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
And then I wanted to be a singer, and that was scary as fuck. And I didn't do it.
Well, you still sing.
Yeah, but I didn't become a singer. I sing.
But you sing, and she does a lot of theater. She's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I've seen her. I've seen her up there. She is.
So amazing. It's not like you're not a singer. It's just you're not like.
That
Aretha
was
Franklin.
A scary one that I kind of like.
Why?
I honestly, because it was easier to do theater. The music world was a world that I knew nothing about, or like how to get into it, you know? But
that's what happened to me too, though. I started with music in this game too. There's so many more ways to get fucked in music.
Yeah.
Like.
But still, also doing acting was hard for me too, just because of the family I come from and just being like the baby. Yeah. You know. But the same with giving up Oregon Shakespeare Festival.
Oh yeah.
I could have gone to do a show for 10 months, and I was like, it's not my dream to like be on Broadway or like do theater for my whole life. That's not my dream. It's other people's dreams, and they should go do that.
Turn on mic for faces. Yeah.
So
but you at that point you had already done that, and you had been on the road for how long?
3 years.
3 years of not being home.
And not auditioning, and now I'm like back, and I have to just get back in the game and meet casting directors that I didn't see for 3 years, you know? So it's just like starting all over again.
Look at my new forehead.
Which is crazy.
I'm fucking with you. But you're right. Like 3 people in this town, like a couple months, you know, people were already like, okay, next person, you know what I mean? Because people, they come to LA and then like, I'm gonna be an actor, and they're like, damn, this shit's hard, I'm going back home.
Right.
You know? But yeah, a lot of people always think that like starting with a family that comes to entertainment will help you, but a lot of times that shit hinders you.
Well, it's stressful because you come from like
you're in a shadow.
Yeah, and like I'm sure like your siblings are super talented. Like my brother's 7 years older than me. He's super talented.
Funny shit. Too.
And like so smart. And so being younger, I was always like, oh, like he's the really good actor, and he's so intelligent, and he's a great director, and he's a great writer. But we have different strengths, you know?
And it's easier for us to see it in other people than it is to see it in ourselves a lot of times. At least for me. Oh, yeah. I always see, like, I see stars in everybody, right? I'm like, yo, I see it. And people, when they tell me, that's the thing, too, that I'm learning how to adjust to. Like, I don't know how to adjust to compliments and shit. When people are like, you do it? I'm like, I always downplay it. I'm like, no. And somebody told me. Well,
that's better than being like, yeah, I know.
But also, but somebody else, yeah, you're right. But somebody also told me, or maybe it was something I read. I don't remember what it was. But it's a clear indicator. It was something I read. Clear indicator of how open you are to receiving. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't even take a fucking compliment, or when people are like, hey, you want something to eat? No, I'm fine. Even if I'm hungry. Like, or I want something to drink. I'm like, no, I'm good. And it just goes to show, like, for me, I was like, damn, like, I've been shutting out a lot of stuff. Like, well, what else have I been shutting out that I'm not even conscious of? Like, well, you know.
My mom used to like get on me about that. She would be like, when you sing and people say you did a good job, you have to say thank you. Because like I would be like, or people would ask me to sing and I would say no, like I didn't want to because I felt so like, it felt like I was like putting on a show, like so people could watch me. I don't like self-indulgent stuff, and it's not, because like that's what we do. People watch us all the time, but it felt like that, and I would, as a kid, be like, no, I don't want to, and she was like, people are asking you to do this, so you have to do it, and
also
be
means your
gracious,
ego's in a good place,
you know. But and be humble, obviously, but not, and say thank you when somebody gives you a compliment.
Did you ever struggle, like, as a kid, like, coming up, like, with, like, kind of finding your voice?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? I think everyone kind of goes through that.
But, I mean, especially in this industry, right? Like,
yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. I mean,
do you think time, or what's it
before
been?
we moved here, I mean, through my whole childhood, I was very shy kid.
Yeah.
And I had self-confidence issues, like bad. And so I think acting was probably the best thing that could have happened to me as a child, because my parents, they put me on stage when I was 13.
Get over it.
And was like, you're going to perform in front of people every Sunday for 3 years.
Damn.
And I did, and we did, and we were forced to go up there, and even though we would have this resistance, I would have this resistance, I would do it anyway, like the scared, but do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Eventually, I just kind of like got used to it, and my confidence just kind of rose.
Yeah, man. You hit the nail on the head with that resistance. We have so much resistance to shit. It's scary, especially as a kid, when you're like, here, go in front of that. Man, that speaks volumes, though. Like, even if I think about that, like, as parenting, if I ever have kids, like, that's the way to do it, because the kids are gonna
just force them to do it.
That's what I tell my boyfriend all the time. I'm like, we're forcing our kids to play the piano, to play the guitar, and he was kind of forced to play an instrument. He's like, no, we're not.
And he's amazing too.
And but I'm like, look at what an amazing musician you are. If it weren't for them, you would not be so amazing. He's so good. And my parents were the opposite. They were like, try the violin. And I was like, I don't like it. They didn't. I played the guitar, the violin, the flute, and the piano, and I can't do any of them.
Yeah.
You know?
But at least that gives you, like, creative, expression. You can express yourself creatively and find it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's about the approach you take as a parent, like, and not being like,
well,
so.
I'm gonna be the mean one.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, for sure. Like,
I know you are.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's probably like a balance there of like, not like, no, you have to do this, sweetheart, or like, sit here until you learn the song. You know? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. My parents were pretty good at it. I was just like, you go do something that won't get you in trouble. I was like, cool, I'm gonna play the drums.
Yeah. I play piano, and my parents got me into piano lessons when I was like 11.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And then we never wanted to do the lessons.
Yeah.
But then like a year after doing them, the teacher like moved away, and we're like left without a teacher, and she never got us a new one. But I still had this urge to play, so I continued playing on my own. But if she hadn't put me in the classes in the first place, and even though I resisted, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to play.
I wonder what that is. Like, you know, like, I think as a kid, like, if you put something creative in front of them, like, that's kind of how their brain tends to get wired. Because you also paint and stuff. Like, whenever you and Alicia will start painting and you play a piano, like, man, that is so healthy, in my opinion. You know, instead of doing other crazy shit, I feel like that's what happens in the hood. You know, like, kids don't have shit to do. They don't know what to do. And there's so much, like, potential in these communities and stuff. Like, there's no programs. There's no...
But there should be. Those things should be offered in our public school system.
Totally.
Yeah, I used to teach I'm actually going back this year to volunteer. I used to teach, and that was the first funding that gets cut is performing arts.
They cut the drama department at Hollywood High.
What?
Like 4 years ago. I don't know if it's back, but I was like, that's crazy.
That sounds
Hollywood High.
Yeah.
That sounds ridiculous.
There's a big ass. There's a giant mural on the side of the building
of all the actors that
stars.
went there.
And not even people that went there, just a bunch of stars too. You know, like Cantinflas, I think, is on there. I I swear, it's crazy.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
And I think at this time, especially with like the climate, politically, like it's the best time for art. Like, well, you know what they say, like what's bad for your heart is good for your art. And that's why, like, I think content is so fucking good right now because people are hurting.
Yeah.
And that's the way that you kind of get over it. And going back to like what you were saying, like, you know, your mom telling you you should sing, and that's the gift that you have to like heal the fucking world. You know
That's
what I
what
mean?
my dad always said. Like, they say people that are artists are gifted, and that when I think of that, he says it's like a gift that we're supposed to give to the audience or to the people, and just be gracious that they want it and want to experience it.
It is a gift. You have to give your work away.
Yeah. And it is selfless. That's why people. That's why, like, I think that's the climate that's changing in Hollywood, right? Like, for a long time, it was self-indulgent. For a lot of these stars that were coming up, and you see like these big egos or whatever. But I feel like a real, like, in the real craft of like being an actor, it's selfless. Because a lot of this shit is fucking hard. Like, you know, like going into your heart, and like sometimes like some gut-wrenching parts that you have that you're just like crying your eyes out. You don't fucking feel good at the end of the day.
No.
You've been crying your fucking ass off all day, and you've been feeling all these emotions that people don't want to feel. Usually run away from in their lives.
Yeah.
And then they watch you do it, and then they go through it, and then they purge. You know, they go through their own process because they can't find the courage to have it in their own interactions. Shit, I don't even fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like in my own life, I pour it more into my work than I do into anything else. I don't know, and that's what heals the world, in my opinion. Can I see the Audacity screen? Click on that thing, just so I know where we're at. Oh shit! Look at that. Damn, we're jamming and grooving. I don't know. I just feel like I wanted to get you on because like I every time I introduce you, people are always like, I love that girl. She's so great.
I do hear that about you a lot.
I think it's your energy. It's so calm. You're just kind of like, oh, okay, hi. What do you attribute that to?
Shoot.
Do you
I don't
have
know.
like a practice that keeps you level-headed or something?
I think for so long I was always putting my attention on everybody else in my life. Like I always praised everybody. And I think it's also, you were saying that you do the same. But for me, I feel like I always put people on pedestals because I did see the beauty and the goodness in people. It wasn't until, you know, I was like in my early 20s that I turned that around on myself. And once that happened, once I had love for myself, I was able to give it triple, you know.
Your cup is full. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah, and you know, I'm spiritual, you know. I feel energetic energies from people that I meet, and I think that everyone should be given the benefit of the doubt when you first meet them, that they're a good person, and if they give you a reason not to feel that they're good, then
you gotta be. That's what I always say. It's my gift and my curse that I see things for what they could be, not necessarily for what they are, and everything. And it's a gift and a curse because a lot of people take advantage of that. And
I've never really been taken advantage of much.
That's good.
In that way.
That's good. That means you probably have a good instinct of like, I need to say. That's what it is. Again, like what we said earlier, when you're like in a situation where something negative, you're like, you kind of slip away.
Yeah.
I'm too fucking stupid and stubborn. I stick there and I'm like, no. You're the person I see. And they're like, no, I'm going to just take advantage of you. And I'm like, no, you're good. And they're like, okay. And I stick around for way too long most of the time. She's laughing because she knows exactly. She's known for so long. She's seen it so many times. But I think that's beautiful that you have that, and I think that's, I don't know, that is an ability that most people lack because so many people are on the surface, you know.
I think family has a lot to do with that because like I meet so many people that aren't close to their family and have no sense of like loyalty or like
they're not close to their family. You're saying
they're not close to their family, so they don't have a sense of respect, humility,
that makes
loyalty
sense.
You know, I mean, obviously there are people that aren't close to their family that are also great, but like feeling vibes, if you come from like a big family, then you're like, okay, I know not to kick it with this cousin, or
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. I understand that.
It's strange. You're right, because they always say like you think you're enlightened up until you have to go spend a weekend with your family and you fucking revert to the 8-year-old version of yourself. That happens to me all the time. I see it with you and your sisters, man. They get sometimes I'm like, damn. It's like a bunch of 8-year-olds going at it. I'm like, oh shit.
But at least they can talk.
Yeah, no, it's
you
beautiful.
know, like
Yeah.
there are people that can't speak the truth to anybody. You know,
That's true.
That's hard. I have such a close relationship with my mom, but we fight. Like I'm okay fighting with my mom. You know, like I'm always like, it's all good if I get in a fight. I'm gonna call her tomorrow, and it's gonna be fine. You know.
Yeah,
and I have so many friends that are like, I can't talk to my mom about this because she's gonna have her feelings hurt or something. And I'm like, that's crazy. You have to like those are your people.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to be
better
able
to communicate than not, because that burden on your shoulders, if you don't let it go, like
it's so rough,
so toxic.
They always say that, like, they say, and even with acting, right? Whatever you're hiding, that's what stinks up the room.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if somebody, and I don't know that again, like, you know, I'll see that in people, and I'll be like, oh, I see, but you're just a little hurt person, and that's okay. Like we'll work around that. Sometimes people are too fucking hurt, and they don't want to be helped.
It was interesting when I went to that Leslie Kahn class because it was an intro class, and she was like, I'm the doctor, so tell me like where you're not okay,
Your
you
ailments.
know?
Yeah.
And like everybody kind of like talked about themselves pretty like they're like perfect, and like, you know, like they weren't really honest about like
Pussyfooting.
And I was like, look, I haven't been auditioning for 3 years. I get nervous now for some reason. I don't know why. I shouldn't be. You know, I was like, I'm going to be real with you because that's the reason I'm here, right?
Yeah.
So I could learn. And I was so nervous it was weird. I haven't been in a class in a while. So it was weird to do a scene in front of a bunch of,
Randoms.
it felt like younger people.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like much older than the people that were in that class.
Maybe it's your maturity.
I know. I was actually thinking yesterday I went to a dance show and everybody felt younger than me. And I was like, and I asked my friend, like, are all these people younger than us? And she was like, no, they're older than us. And I was like, that's so weird. I feel like people are younger than me a lot of the time, but I don't know why.
It's probably your maturity level. Do you do theater at all?
I did a little theater in high school, but never stuck. My mom was always just focused on us with the film and TV and then commercials. That was it.
Yeah, and which makes sense, like, especially financially. But there's something, man, about that theater. There's some high that you get from that you can't get from anything else.
I mean, I've always kind of wanted to.
You do it.
And I feel like eventually, like, I've been thinking about it a lot more lately, and I feel like I'm gonna manifest it into my life.
Yeah, I mean, it's already in motion now that you've said it. Yeah. It's out in the universe, Dre.
Oh, I've said it multiple times. It's already been out there. It's just a matter of time. We'll see.
There's something weird about that, but it's so weird for you, especially like, you know, because you've been on the road for 3 years performing for giant crowds, and then you're in a small room with like fucking
and it was
10
like
people.
Crazy. Like, and there were people that were like, I've never acted before, or, you know, like, I don't know anything about acting or whatever, you know. And I was just like mortified. And my boyfriend was in the class too, and he was like, I couldn't tell you were nervous. And I was like, I felt like my whole body was just like shaking. It was so weird
to be able to do that and to release that expression.
Yeah,
you know, you're scared. Like after you do it, I bet you.
Oh, I felt so much better, and I was so happy. I was like at the beginning of the class, and it was so awesome to watch other people.
Yeah, because then my teacher calls that the empathetic campfire, where it's like if you know whatever's happened to you or whatever, and if you like make it as true as possible for yourself, everybody in that room has some type of version of that. Yeah. So there's no reason to be nervous or embarrassed or whatever, because everybody can relate to that on some level. Yeah. You know, everybody has that, and that kind of, I know that, and I still sometimes I have to like fucking sit there and remind myself like, okay, it's all good. Like fucking everybody, all these, because you know how it is. Like, you know, you go into a room and it's like fucking 10 producers and like all these writers and executives, and I'm like, who in the fuck are all these people? All right, time to go. You know what I mean?
You're all strangers, but okay, here we go.
Oh, there's a mouse guy in here.
Yes, there is.
Boom. I think it's time for some hot seat questions. Dre.
Okay.
All right.
Rick came up with these questions.
Yeah, these are great.
Okay. Here we go.
She always gives a disclaimer because she's like, I think they're fucking stupid.
Okay. If baby Andrea was watching today's Andrea and you could give her one sentence, what would it be? One sentence of advice? Is that
whatever the fuck you want it to be?
My baby self?
Yeah.
Telling my...
Like,
your
how
eight,
baby?
Like your eight, I don't know. You tell me. 8-year-old self.
Let's see. I'd probably...
Gotta give me one sentence. You're in a hot seat, Dre. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
One sentence. You're traveling through time right now.
I knew you could do it.
Bam.
Nice.
That's good. All right. Next one.
You're hosting a party and have a bunch of people coming over. What do you have in your snack spread?
Oh.
Come on. Give me some good ones, Dre.
Okay.
I'm a
well,
foodie.
you gotta have like the chips and salsa, of course.
Boom. Go to.
You gotta have the freaking blueberry goat cheese.
Oh, yeah. From
God.
Trader Joe's.
From Trader
so
Joe's.
good.
Yeah.
She had it last
Some
time.
crackers.
Damn, she's
Okay. I don't know. Those are like my top two things.
Boom.
I think.
Okay.
Oh, vegetables, of course. You gotta have the spread of veggies.
Yeah.
The little dip.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Boom. I'm coming to that party.
You came to that party.
I did come to that party. That one had a lot of good snacks. I was a little
How do I
stoned.
say this name?
Elon Musk. You know who Elon Musk is?
No. Do you know who Elon Musk is?
Yeah, he invented a bunch of...
Yeah.
I don't know.
bunch of
Modern day.
things.
Okay, Elon Musk has $1 billion
technology.
with your name on it. All you have to do is give him one idea to make the world a better place. What is it?
That's a good one. Rick, where do you come up
$1 billion.
with these questions?
I haven't even smoked all month, too. It's only day 4.
Oh my
5.
gosh. An invention?
Yeah. Because that's what he does. I mean, for example, like the Boring Company, right? He's digging tunnels under California to make traffic better, right? And then he's colonizing Mars. He's a SpaceX. He's got the rockets to land again. He's got Solar City, right? The solar panels. He's got Tesla cars, no gas. So this damn fly. There's a fly in the studio.
Yes,
I want to kill
there
it.
is. It's
Flying around the lights. So
just wants to be part of the excitement over
yeah,
here.
not today, Mosca. Boom. One
Okay,
idea. One idea. Solve a problem. Something you can relate to. I don't know. All on the floor. You're burning up right now in the hot seat.
Yeah.
You are on.
I'm so on fire. I mean, it would probably be an invention of how to get rid of like poverty of some sort, like, because I don't know, the homeless problem is really bad.
But you gotta give me a specific.
I don't know what
Dre.
sort of like.
That's such a hard question.
I know
Rick.
it is.
People
It's
think
like,
about that.
yeah,
for years.
I know.
What would yours be?
Okay.
Yeah, come on, you tell me what would
Okay,
you
let's
do?
think about this. Let's think about a party.
No,
a
you're in the
party.
hot seat, Rick. You're
Okay,
burning
we're in
up
the
right
fucking hot
now.
seat. All right.
Oh, you died.
World hunger. World hunger. Okay. I would figure out a way to create financial system where we can level out the levels of poverty. I don't know, some kind of like algorithm that
You
we
have
can
to be
create through
really specific with your idea.
No, I don't. All right. Some kind of algorithm to develop a way to tax people in a way that doesn't. Oh, this is what it would be. A way where an application where we could vote. That's what it would be.
Oh, an app.
Fucking scan your thumb.
That's so like hackable.
No, thumbprint. Whatever, man. We use our phones for everything else.
Okay, whatever.
We need like some super cybersecurity behind it. Obviously, some military.
Yeah, like I
intelligence shit.
trust.
Yeah, something
that.
to trust, but still like the ability to vote with like your phone.
And that would handle the poverty problem?
No, yeah, because people would vote for the shit that they want. Right now, the money's not going. We have tax money.
It would make some difference, I feel like, maybe.
All of our shit goes to the military budget.
Yeah.
Trillions
I just don't know if an app is like the right thing.
I don't know if it's an app. I'm just saying the ability to accessibly vote for people. Right now, they're trying to shut you up. They're not trying to make it easy for you to vote. So what my solution would be is like, why don't we? Because I think us as a society who aren't politicians, normal ass people, we want our money to go. We know what the problems are. We know where the solutions are at. But there's people who are in charge of shit that don't have the same common interests as us, or don't even have the perspective because they're living in fucking country clubs.
But I'm not sure everybody is well informed.
Maybe,
Like,
but I think people have a good heart at the end of the day, and they would at least, even if you put it on a screen in front of them, like, hey, do you want to help homeboy here? He's dying or whatever of hunger. People would be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's give some of this. Let's give some of that. I don't know.
Okay.
Thanks, Elon Musk. I'll take my $1 billion.
all right,
Right.
all right.
All right, let's go into some current events.
Rick.
Show you how it's done.
Okay.
So check it out.
Florida ranks amongst most stressed out states in the U.S. So there's a list of 10. New Jersey, Georgia,
Number 1, 2.
Florida, California,
I'm stressed out now.
New York, Louisiana,
Huh.
Maryland, North Carolina, Virginia, and Mississippi.
Whoa, that's interesting.
It is interesting.
I
Is
know
that like legit?
Yeah.
Local 10
Yeah.
is ABC?
No, I don't know what the fuck it is. Something.
I'm just looking at your sources.
I mean, I
here.
feel New York.
Can we
When
snow
I go to
this?
New York, it seems like everybody is stressed the fuck out.
Yeah,
I
That's
thought
why
we
I
were
don't like
definitely-
New York.
We
It
were
says we're more stressed out
after
than New
New York.
York. That's
I
crazy.
think.
I think so, because at least I don't know.
Jersey. I've never been to Jersey
I've
or
never been-
Georgia.
Joyzy.
Joycey.
Florida is bipolar.
I hear Florida is beautiful.
It is.
I've
beautiful.
never been there
It's
either.
also bipolar.
I mean,
This fly, I'm gonna kill this fly.
Yeah.
It's driving me nuts.
And when I went to New Orleans, though,
Mississippi.
I loved it, but it did feel like a place where
Everyone's
people could just get lost. It felt
Oh, yeah.
so
Like Vegas.
a place
Totally.
for lost souls. Like if you wanted to go somewhere and just disappear,
yeah, you
it
could
would
do
be
it
so
there.
easy. I also felt like, I mean, they were all like, "Oh yeah, we've recovered from Katrina," and it
No,
does
they have
not
not.
seem like that at all. It seems like a really exciting place, but just as scary at the same time because it seems like anything can happen there. But it's like beautiful, like the music's amazing and the food is amazing, but I felt like the people didn't feel like settled. They felt kind of like floaty or like they just weren't.
You think it has to do with all the alcohol in the fucking systems?
Yeah, but I think it's more than that.
I don't think it's actual people that live there. I think it's people that are coming in to get drunk. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's a weird.
I totally
place.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I've been twice, 2 years in a row. I'm so in love with it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, I would just move there for a year, get a regular fucking job.
Yeah.
And
That sounds lovely, actually.
and I mean, of course, there's like a huge production, like
bunch of stuff. The
there's
Purge,
so
Gabe
much
show films out there.
Yeah.
there's so much work out there to have, but I
Yeah.
would just be so low key
Yeah.
and not have to worry about Los Angeles, like the craziness that is
Yeah.
Hollywood.
You see, stressed out
Stressed out, yeah.
because there's a
Maybe
busy
because
energy.
there's so
Yeah.
many
Yeah,
actors.
yeah.
Probably. There's just a busy energy in California sometimes.
But I
Well,
feel like New
everyone's
York
stomping on
is
each other.
like,
Yeah. I agree that.
how are we?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, but maybe. I don't know how they. I don't know what they
And
use.
New Jersey, how random.
They
like,
used. What did they use? They used
socially stressed out.
uninsured population was one of the big ones. So I don't know if that stresses people out.
I mean, it does.
Unemployment, long commute times. We have longest commute times. That's probably what it. Well, so does New York though.
Yeah.
New York has shitty traffic, but they have the public transportation system down.
Yeah.
Hours worked, a lot of hours worked out here. Population density, more people in New York. Home price to income ratio, well,
Yeah.
both.
No, but I don't know. LA is crazy right now.
Yeah, but so is rent in New York.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. 10 states.
Well,
Stay away from
Interesting.
if you don't want to be stressed
Interesting
out.
that New Jersey's number 1.
Yeah. Boom.
Okay.
Let's go to the next
Rick really wants to talk about
one.
this.
This fucking...
mosquitoes.
Because she sent me this. She sent me this.
'Cause he's been getting eaten alive by mosquitoes.
I got bit today.
Really?
Oh my fucking god. These
But
things
they're
just love
ankle
me.
biting mosquitoes.
They're ankle biting mosquitoes.
Yeah.
and
They
they're-
got here in a shipping container from Asia. So that's what it says. That
Yeah.
They came from a shipping container in Asia, and that these fucking things are different than the native mosquitoes we have here. And they can lay eggs that last up to a year.
So Rick cleaned out his
steamer.
steamer.
because like it says that any still water, that's where they can make shit. I'm like, there's water in here. I get eaten alive when I'm.
Oh man, no, I haven't.
You haven't gotten
Me either.
I haven't gotten bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, me either.
There's an infestation in California. I swear.
They're
Well,
only here and here.
Probably.
I did notice a couple behind my apartment.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
You're right.
It's kind of crazy. All right, let's go to the next one. Fuck these mosquitoes. I want to kill them all.
Okay, Popeyes offers 24 karat dusted champagne wings for
stop.
one day
Shut up.
only.
One
Shut
day.
up. No, that's not real.
I
That's
swear
hilarious.
to God. With champagne
I don't.
for $5
That is so stupid.
to celebrate their 3,000th store.
Okay,
Wow.
that's stupid. It's actually pretty cool. But like, what is that gold that they're using?
Yeah.
It's actual
not
gold.
24 karat.
No, it is.
No.
It's edible gold.
For $5, they would never.
Only in certain
They
stores.
can't afford.
Only in certain stores. There was,
Oh
look,
yeah, these ones
see?
right here.
There's one in Anaheim though, in California.
You gonna drive there?
No, I'm not. But it already.
Plant based?
It was yesterday. No, I'm not gonna eat it. I just thought it was.
So it's just the one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most baller shit ever though.
That is pretty.
I would have gotten it. Think about it.
That's funny.
We're gonna celebrate. We're gonna get some motherfucking gold chicken.
All right, now the most depressing news of all.
Oh, SB wants. I have a lot
Rick
of questions.
knows nothing
I don't
about
know shit about this.
Kavanaugh. I don't know if you know anything about it.
I
Close all
know
the tabs
some.
so shit doesn't overheat.
It's just all that is in media, and it's exhausting.
Yeah, and that's why I don't know anything because I've chosen to disconnect myself. I'm not on anything right now.
I usually choose to disconnect myself. Actually, since Trump was elected, I've kind of done that.
Kind of have to.
But this one, I watched the whole testimony from like 11 a.m. Well, it actually started before then, but I started at 11 a.m. to like 4:30 p.m.
That's
So
intense.
I listened to her and I listened to him and I listened to everybody reply to their remarks. They had 5 minutes to like interview
Who?
the senators and Congress and Senate.
They're probably all his homies and shit.
Well, there's Democrats. I mean, the
Yeah,
Democrats
both sides.
and the Republicans had 5 minutes each to interview each of them. But then there was like a woman who was running. It's not a trial, so running the what is it?
A hearing?
The hearing, yeah, running the hearing. Who was like, she was actually hired by Republicans, but she said to Dr. Ford, "You know that this is not the way that a sexual assault victim should be interviewed, right? In 5-minute increments. That doesn't make any sense, and in front of like many
it's
people."
It's such a stupid approach.
So today they were voting on if he was still going to be confirmed on Monday, or voting on if they were going to vote for him to be confirmed on Monday.
Next Monday or this Monday that just passed?
This Monday coming up.
Ah.
Yeah.
Right, so it's coming up.
And they put it off for a week because there was going to be an FBI investigation. Very limited. They didn't interview her.
What?
They didn't interview him. There were around 28 people that the Democrats wanted them to interview because there were 3 other women that accused him.
Oh, damn.
And then
So he has
one
a
of the
pattern.
women said there were people who saw the assault. They didn't interview any of the people that woman said were witnesses.
Okay.
So they put it off for a week and to like cover it up, I guess.
Well, I mean, you put it off for a week because the fucking election's or whatever is on Monday. What people are gonna? That's so. I don't know a lot of this facts because
It was supposed to be confirmed last Friday.
Oh, okay.
So they put it off for a week.
Okay. Well, either way, I was a little confused because I was like, supposedly this happened in high school, right?
Okay, yeah, it happened in high school. She said that she was at a party and she was taken into a room with him and another person. She had one beer and he was very
Shit-faced.
drunk.
Yeah.
And then
Forced himself on her.
She had a bathing suit underneath, so when he tried to take her clothes off, he couldn't like get access.
Yeah.
And then she was able to get away because somebody like jumped on the bed or something like
twice.
that.
Yeah.
So he didn't rape her, he just assaulted her.
But then there was other 2 women you said that came out.
Who said, one of them in college said he exposed himself to her in college.
So he's a freak.
And the
Creepy.
third one, I can't remember what the third one was, but a lot of it, there was one college friend who was like, I went to Yale with him, and I didn't think it was my business to talk about it.
His friend?
Yeah, he was like, I didn't, when they were going to confirm him as a in the Supreme Court, I didn't think it was my business to like say anything about him, you know. But when I saw that he blatantly mischaracterized, is that a word? Himself on the stand, like said that he didn't drink and get belligerent and black out, then I felt like I had to come forward and say that that is not true, because I've seen him multiple times. And it's like, his behavior was just appalling.
Yes, he was acting like a crazy
yeah
person.
Like not somebody who, the Supreme Court judges are supposed to be nonpartisan, so
level-headed.
And he was just like,
he was
screaming
aggressive.
he was very over the top and like,
well, that's a red flag.
not level-headed at all. So I don't know, it's unfortunate, it's really unfortunate, because
we're gonna learn a lot on Monday, I'll tell you that much.
they're gonna confirm him. I know they're gonna. There's no way they're not.
Who is there
The
somebody
Republicans
else?
are
Yeah, I guess
the majority, so they're confirming him today.
Elections are coming up.
Today, one of the women, female Republicans, who was on the fence, she said a whole speech and then said she was going to confirm him. So,
God.
Oh my God. Well, I saw something. A piece of me was like, I am not this person. I was just like, dude, chill the fuck out. Like, you look like a child throwing a tantrum about some shit you did that you got in trouble. Like, for me, when I look at people, I'm like, you look guilty as fuck, bro. That was my whole thing. Like, I'm, even saying, I think it probably would have done him better if he's like, look, I did get fucked up. I did do this. I did do that. But my intentions were never here. If he would have just taken a different approach, maybe. I don't fucking know. It doesn't rectify anything, obviously.
no.
The way he responded when she asked, do you like beer?
He's like, I like beer. I still like beer.
Yeah, do you like beer? Well, yes, I like beer. All men and women like
he
beer.
Just kept talking about fucking beer, dude.
In
the
college,
guy
I
that
drank some beer. Yeah, sure. But he said beer like
so many
30 times. And
you're an alcoholic, Brett.
And everybody's saying like,
it's like, what are you talking?
That he totally would get wasted, and he still says, I still drink beer, and everybody's like, and it wasn't just beer.
So he's learned nothing.
And then like
he was just nervous.
His like mouth was like stressing me out. It was so like
SP pays attention to the weirdest shit.
I was like,
she didn't watch Braveheart. What did you say? Was it Braveheart?
Butt stinks. I watched Braveheart, but
she said it looks like this people's butt stinks.
I don't like movies like that.
What does that mean? I get it, because they're like
but you get it, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But
breath smells.
About to die.
I had a woman, I posted this editorial cartoon, and it was of Kavanaugh with like an oversized judge outfit, and it says unfit. And I had a woman that I did a movie with who's from Texas, and she is a Republican. I hope she doesn't listen to this, but she wrote me a message in Spanish saying...
Did she speak Spanish?
Yeah, she's from Mexico.
Oh.
Saying, like, I believe them both. And
how does she believe them both?
That's what I said. I was like, you can't believe them both. And she was talking about, that people sometimes think it was one person and they have to go through therapy for many years and to realize that it's somebody else. And I was like, and this was last week, and I was like, okay, I agree with you.
What about the other two women?
But don't you think there should be a thorough investigation so that if that is the case, then we can figure that out and know the information? And she was like, his life is ruined. And
Good.
His reputation is ruined. And I was like, what about her?
Like,
what does she have to gain from this?
She's probably getting a fucking massive backlash from all the people that support him.
She's getting death threats. She's had to pay security. She's like a psychology professor. She doesn't have anything to gain from it. Mm-hmm. And so she was like, please don't hate me for having a different opinion. And my best friend was like,
I hate her.
no, she was like, tell her, I don't hate you, but I think you're dumb.
I just do not agree with you.
You know what it
But-
sounds like? It sounds like she's living in a climate where she has been indoctrinated into believing that side of the story, but her gut
Well,
is
that's
telling
the
her,
Republican thing. They're like, we believe that she was assaulted, but we don't believe that it's him.
fuck you. What does that mean?
And that's, yeah, it's just like,
Oh yeah, okay, you were assaulted.
but if you
what does it
believe
mean?
she was
Denial.
assaulted, find out who it is then,
Yeah.
you know?
And has he claimed that he knows her and shit and everything?
He said they may be mingled in in parties, and then
I don't fuck with this dude. Everything's about it. I got too many red flags already.
and I also told her, I was like, I'm never gonna support somebody that wants to overturn Roe versus Wade. That's just not gonna happen.
Okay, well, I'm out, Kavanaugh.
No,
I
screw
mean,
that.
Hard
that
pass.
would be. It's a lifetime. He's appointed
She'll
for
be there
life.
for life.
I mean,
She'll
like,
be on
it's like,
I don't fuck with this dude either.
Like,
What's this dude's name?
I get it.
McConnell? What's his name?
I don't know.
That dude that's talking right now.
Mansion.
No, that dude that's
Oh,
talking.
I don't know.
I hate that dude.
It's like people are like, oh, boys are boys when they're in high school. I'm like, okay, you can fucking say that, but not when it comes to a
The Supreme
fucking
Court.
yeah, like the highest appointed position in our judicial system. That's you can't.
We've all done stupid shit, but it's not like. But it's also like the fucking climate. Look at Trump. Like, Trump is in fucking office. His whole life has been stupid shit.
Yeah.
Some of it, he's done some good things, and people are like, yeah, I get it. And I think that's why he's
But
there.
it's also like, yeah, we've
We
done stupid
underestimate.
shit, and it's not okay.
Not okay.
It's stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
So
But Trump chose this guy.
yeah.
I mean, they're
God damn
one
it.
and
That
the
should be,
same.
yeah. It's a good old boys club is what it sounds like to me.
Definitely.
I don't know, man.
Crazy times
Way to
we
get
live in.
depressed.
Even Nala comes up. She's like, what are y'all talking about? Damn, this is a bummer. All right. Well, we made it a
You're
quick
bringing
one
it
and a
down.
swift one, Dre. What you got to tell the people? One last thing. What do you got to tell the people?
Oh, just be a good person. You know, have morals. Take care of the people that you love, and be honest with every decision you make.
It's super
Nice.
simple, but so goddamn profound. Super
Yeah.
simple. Like, be a good person. People are like, yeah, I'm a good person. No, think about everything you fucking do.
Consciously think about it.
Yeah.
Everything. Everything. Where are you coming from? Are you coming from your ego? Or are you coming? Where are you coming from?
Just
Beautifully put.
try to be happy. Making other people happy will make you happy at the end of the day.
Boom. What you got left, SP?
Nothing.
You guys are awesome.
All right, y'all. Episode 68. Thank you so much,
Yay.
Andrea Sixtos,
Thank
for
you.
coming on.
Thank you guys.
We'll be back next week.
Hey.
See you guys.